This is how we relax you when we're talking about things that make you angry.
Another bill we are watching, Senate Bill 1485, STO credits, cap. We'll let you know what the final status is.
That's all, folks. Fade to black.
Happy Friday! Woo! I wish we should have had like party hats or like a
Yeah, we should have had blowers,
a blower
something
popper.
more exciting.
It's the end of session.
We made it!
It's over. 130 days.
No, it's like 135, you liar.
135 days.
It was a long time.
35 days too long, if you ask me. But well worth it in the end if you're fans of the bills that were left out there. And more importantly, we have a budget. So I'm gonna do a little bit of recap on the budget, but we're also gonna have a budget webinar on Tuesday at 11:30. So if you don't get this, that's fine. We're gonna go into more detail on Tuesday.
We will also have Chuck Essex from ASBO there, who is a budget guru, so he will give an extra layer of expertise if you're able to tune in. If not, you can still sign up and it'll send you a recording automatically to your email.
Sweet. Technology. So real quick, just to recap, we scored it generally around $550 million net plus for education. There's some technical assumptions in there, but basically what that is $164.7 million for the next installment of the teacher pay package. There was some confusion out there in internet land about that being in there. It's in there. It's always been in there. So 164.7 statewide, 128.7 for district additional assistance. So not only did we get the FY 2020 payment of district additional assistance restoration, we got the FY 21 payment as well, so 2 payments in 1 year. So you'll see about 3 times what you saw, or two times again what you saw this last year. So instead of, you got 64 this last year, now we're getting 128. So, or we got about 100 last year, but part of it was charter. Anyway, 2 payments, 128.7. So there you go. There was $30 million added to results-based funding, so that bumps that total up to about $64 million. We have some policy opinions about that, but if you're a district that has higher performing schools, you'll be able to see some of that money. If you got it last year and your test scores are about the same, we're about the same. The last in 2018, you'll get that as well. The added money, a lot of it is spread around to more schools with greater than 60% free reduced lunch participation. So if you're in the greater than 60% FRL group, there is basically, if you're in the top quarter, I'm generalizing, but if you're in the top 25% of AZ merit results in 2018, you can expect to see a payment probably from that. So either 400 or 225 per student, depending on how high you are. We'll go over that in more detail on the budget webinar. If you're in the market for new schools, new school construction, if you're over capacity, your school, if you're on the new school construction list already, your school is funded. They also extended it out to a 2-year projection this year, which added about $60+ million to the budget. That will give 2 new districts, 3 new schools for at least a start for FY20. So if you were over capacity in FY19, you're funded. If you're over capacity in 21 or 22, or 20 or 21, excuse me, you're also funded. So there you go. $20 million for school counselors. That was a plus. It started out 15.
School counselors, school social workers as well.
Yes. So how they work that is they're adding it to the existing school safety program. So the entire school safety program, which also includes the money for SROs now, will go up. you have the option to apply for a grant for counselors or SROs. It's up to you. So that's how that's gonna work. ADE should be rolling out some stuff on that hopefully pretty soon, but there's a difference obviously in the counseling plan requirements versus the school safety plan SRO requirements, but it's all in the same line item. And then finally, there was $62 million for building renewal grants added to the budget. So there was some one-time money last year. Long and short of it is there's $79.5 million available in building renewal grants for FY20. There you go. So also some other things. The gifted funding from last year was continued. There's a pilot program for high quality teacher retention, which was a bill, or development, excuse me, which was a bill this year, and a couple other round of small things. But that's pretty much the big stuff. Again, we'll go over that in more detail on Tuesday in our budget webinar. It should be about half an hour, shouldn't be too long. So that.
Go into that. So the other stuff we have floating around, the governor has 10 days to sign whatever is on his desk at sine die. So that was, not including Sundays, that was early Tuesday. So mid next week, we will know what finally made it over the finish line. The couple still hanging out there are 2670, that was the Special Education Study Committee. 2493, that kind of wonky issue about appraising leased solar panels on school district property. 1485, which was capping the corporate STO tax credit, and 1456, the vision screening bill. So we will update you guys at the 10-day mark what finally passed. We also send out a wrap-up, as always, with summaries of everything we've been monitoring all year long and their final status in the session. And the general effective date for everything this year is August 27th, unless it had an emergency clause like the procurement bill.
Yes.
Which I think was the only one that we really talked about that's emergency.
And also, if you have questions about stuff, bills come up, if you use the bill summary or the bill tracking system this year, you can always go back to that. It's available, it's live. So if you have a question about a bill and you want to see our summary of it, you can go there, you can click on it. And also, once we do the wrap up, we'll have the regular wrap up that we send out. And also all those bills will be flagged as enacted there, so you can sort of see a list of them on that system. So we're trying to make more information available to you in different ways. So the last thing is, so we've got budget webinar Tuesday, wrap up coming out, our customary big session wrap webinar with the bills and the budget and all the other issues will be later in June, probably after the 20th, just because we want to make sure that we have ASBO staff available, our staff available, and we've got a number of things going on, including SLI this next weekend. So if you're going to be there for that, we'll talk more about the budget there. And then finally, August, you will probably see the Friends of ASBA voting record book, the Friends book as we affectionately call it, which will land in your mailbox if you're a member or a Friends of ASBA Gold member who's not already a school board member. You get a hard copy of that. So that should be around the second week in August. This is the last one of these. You won't see us again until January, unless there's some special sort of thing we decide we need to do. But for the most part, our weekly wraps, our weekly updates are ending. We've enjoyed your company, Stephen, throughout the session. We hope you've gotten the benefit by watching these. If you didn't watch them live, not too many people watch them live, but we got some good
Get the afterglow.
After viewing, I guess you would say. So hopefully they've been helpful for you. We will bring them back next session, but until then, send us an email, call us on the phone.
You know where to find us.
We'll be here. See you around. Bye.